my take on what is consciousness and what I think people are misunderstanding, probably including me, but that's my take. Okay. When people talk about I have consciousness, then this is almost like I have something to eat, or it belongs to me, or it's something external that is with you. My take is we do not have consciousness. We are consciousness. We are consciousness. So consciousness, in my opinion, is the fabric of reality as we know it. It's a baseline of energy that penetrates everything and every time. And all of reality is consciousness. So we are consciousness too. I think consciousness in itself is not aware of itself. So, like, we can assume many animals are not aware of their consciousness. So, we as humans, and probably many other creatures or living entities, maybe even a tree, who knows, can become aware of your own consciousness. I think the mistake is once you become aware of it that we think we have consciousness. I think you have to be thinking of it a little bit differently. So we do not have consciousness, so we are consciousness. The point is to become aware of that consciousness. So you become conscious. And once you become conscious, you become aware of you reflecting back and forth to that structure. And with that, again, my take, we can start to feel separate from it. And is that a good or a bad thing? Don't know. I don't think it's about judgment if something is good or bad. I think it's about how it works. Once you become aware of your consciousness, you start to feel separate. And with that separateness, you can probably in an intelligent way experience 3D reality. 3D reality is all about the so-called yin-yang concept, up and down, left and right, warm and cold. So it had to be separated to become aware of each other. And I think that's what's happening with a being that becomes aware of its consciousness. And if you look at that we are consciousness, and consciousness is the whole construct, from there we could go and say, well, that's why we are connected with everything and every time that ever is and ever will be. And that maybe is the notion of what God is, in a way. And there's another provoking thought here. If that is God, because consciousness is the construct of all reality, the sea of everything, we could say that is the godly energy. So, and maybe that's a provoking idea here. The thought is, God in itself, consciousness in itself, is not aware of itself. Something happened in that equation or in that sea of consciousness that it started to have an idea of self-reflecting, and with that, parts started to evolve in a way. And like a cell in an egg, let's say, the sperm that goes into an egg and then creates cells. There was just one, and then two, then four, then 8, then 16. Okay, so once it started, it replicated itself and it formed, let's say, a body. And my understanding now is that as we can observe it in the small, it might be as well in the big. And universe, or the multiverse, or better said, the omniverse, is nothing else than a part of that reflection back and forward within the sea of consciousness. And as we are a part of that consciousness, because we are consciousness, we do not have it, we are connected to everything that is.